Thank you, Amit. We've heard enough about omnichannel retail over not just the last few hours, but the last few years. And it's come down to becoming a term that everyone throws out, but doesn't necessarily either understand or follow. So, what is it going to mean, not in the past, not just today, but going forward as well? Is it going to remain the gold standard for retailing that everyone talked about, or are there other avenues that you should be exploring when you talk about omnichannel? Our panel today to talk about that includes KG George, Senior Vice President, Retail and Alternate Channels at TTK Prestige; Tarak Bhattacharya, ED and CEO, Mad Over Donuts; Kunal Gupta, CEO, Faces Canada; Rubinder Singh, Senior Director and Head of Operations at Chayos; Aastha Almast, founder of the New Shop; Sandeep Jabbal, CCA and Chief Digital Transformation and Information Officer at Shopper Stop; Rajgopal Nayak, CTO, Metro Brands; and to moderate the session, we have Gerard, Vice President, Partnerships and Market Development for GreenHonchos. No one's going to come up? Okay, then get your butts up here, for God's sake.
Could you please play the AV? Thanks, everyone. That was a short intro to GreenHonchos. And let's get on with the panel today. And I think we have a cracker of a panel. Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. Thank you. So this is a cracker of a panel. Like I said, a lot of people normally on such panels, you'll not get to see such diversity. Today we have from FMCG, CGP, fashion, footwear, anchor brands, new age brands, food, all of them sitting on just one dais. So we'll get various perspectives for this omni-channel talk that we're going to have. Like we've heard a lot of times, we keep saying omni-channel, but it's also an outcome of a lot of ingredients. And we also want to talk about those ingredients today. The various aspects that all of these behemoths have been using to create an omni-channel experience for their customers and for their, to become more competitive as a brand, to serve the omni-channel customer. Hopefully, we're also going to be talking about some very interesting things today, including ONDC, 247 online to offline journeys, online to offline lifetime value, online reputation management, inventory strategy in different categories. It's different for fashion, it's different for food, getting franchisees on board of your online to offline journeys, how does that happen? And also something interesting, a lot of us are here to pitch and get business from these brands. So what is it that these brands look for in partners, when they want to go out and improve their ability to serve customers or improve their own brand's capability as such. So lots to talk about, and I would start off with a quick short introduction, and then I'll set the context of the two things that we're going to be talking about. Is that okay? Please, sir, you may start. The mics need some help.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is KG George. I work with TTK Prestige Limited. We are basically into kitchenware, and I handle retail, alternate channels like e-com and rural.
Hi everyone, I'm Aastha Almast and I'm the co-founder of the new shop, which is India's first and fastest growing omni-channel convenience store chain. We're present as physical brick and mortar stores in locations like residential areas, airports, highways, railway stations, as well as dense neighborhoods, with a promise of delivering within 15 to 30 minutes, 24 by 7. We're omni-channel, omnipresent. We sell through our offline brick and mortar stores, through our app, as well as marketplaces like Dunzo, Swiggy, Zomato, and various others. So trying to touch customers and fulfill whatever they want 24/7 through all touch points.
Hi, good afternoon everybody. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to speak. My name is Rajgopal Nayak. I work as the Chief Technology Officer at Metro Brands. Metro Brands is a premium footwear retailer. We operate about 600 plus stores across the country under various brand names, Metro, Mochi, Walkway, FitFlop, and Crocs. Hopefully one of you all or more than one of you all are our customers with multiple pairs. We also operate, we have e-com presence through 4 of our websites, e-commerce websites, and through third-party marketplaces. Once again, warm welcome to everybody.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Sandeep, Jabbal, Chief Digital Transformation Officer for Shoppers Stop, a brand I'm sure you all know. We have a department store. Along with that, we also manage beauty stores for Estee Lauder companies, which is your MAC and Bobbi Brown stores. And of course, we present all across on e-commerce as well as brick and mortar. Thanks.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tarak Bhattacharya. I run MOD in this country, which is Mad Over Donuts. We are operating in 6 cities in the country right now, with almost 150 odd touch points in the country.
Hello, hey, so thank you for having me. I am Kunal Gupta. I am the CEO of Faces Canada. So we are a makeup brand. We are present today in more than 100 cities with more than 1,000 stores. We have a large presence across offline stores, which include shop-in-shop or our own stores, as well as we have a strong presence in all e-commerce platforms, as well as our own D2C business. So looking forward to a great discussion.
Great. So looks like right from cooking the food in a pressure cooker to getting ready to going out for dessert, we've got all of it here. So the full house, yeah, and outside. So here's the format quickly. So we've got 2 questions largely for them to play around, and then some specific questions. The first question will be centered around the experiencing and buying. How are the specific question is, the first part of it is to do with the front end, with the discovery process. The second is to do with the back end. Like I said, it's omni-channel, but we're picking it apart. So in the front end question is, what are the various touch points where customers are discovering or experiencing or buying your products or services? How does your brand design these customer journeys? What are the revenues or percentage split from the various journeys in terms of impressions, engagements, and revenue? Don't just say, okay, so much dhanda from this channel, because maybe social media is not a lot of dhanda, but then you're getting your brand building from there. So how does that come into equation, and hence how do you factor social media? That's the front end question. The back end question we'll address it post the front end question, if that's okay. So quick takes of each brand on that. Starting from you, sir, you could start. Mr. George.
So Prestige is a legacy brand, over 60 years old, and we are what we call fast-moving consumer durable. We have very extensive distribution. We are present in over 1 lakh outlets across the country. Regarding e-com, strength of this company has been we are strong across channels. So whether it's traditional trade, modern trade, e-com, retail, we have a presence everywhere. And we are uniformly strong across. In this category of kitchenware, which is little primitive, so to speak, we are far ahead of the others of competition, and we compete with the best across categories. We have a very big e-commerce business. Almost 18 to 20% of our turnover comes from e-com. And we are a little different from other legacy brands. We also operate on marketplaces directly as the company. We have our own website and we also sell on marketplaces. We also sell through Amazon, Flipkart and independent sellers. We have been focusing on omni-channel, so we have a very strong on-ground exclusive presence. We have more than 670 stores across 375 towns, and the number keeps growing. Major focus now on opening company stores, company-owned, company-operated, or company-owned franchisee-operated. And we want to grow our own website business because we don't want to be left to the mercies of the big players. We want to do business at our terms without the price being compromised across channels. That's what we believe in, and we try to enforce always. So what we are trying to do is merge our website with our physical store. So basically, if a customer wants a product and orders it on the website, if the product is available within 5-kilometer radius of the customer, then the order gets allocated to the store and the store fulfills the order. This is simple. But what we are also trying to do, in our category, exchange online is not possible because the cost of collecting the scrap is much more than the value of the scrap, so it doesn't work out. No platform has been able to do it. So what we are trying to do, which is not yet implemented, but we are in the process of implementing, is that exchange also we can enable through the omni-channel. So typically the store goes and collects the scrap and delivers the product. So this is a major breakthrough which no other brand has been able to do in our category and which we believe will give us a major head start. In addition to that, in our category, the combos, which is buy one, get one free, and which are not hard bundled, that is not possible today in conventional e-commerce. This again we hope to solve through the omni-channel route. So we believe that omni-channel, not only the fact we might not be able to compete on price with Amazon or Flipkart of the world, but what we can do is we can deliver in minutes, even faster than a Swiggy or a Zomato, because we have 675 stores covering 80% of the big cities which are majorly generating e-com. So this is what we are trying to do, to unify the physical store and the website and to drive the business, provide the customer a better shopping experience. There is no question of any return because the product when delivered by the store is checked, it's operated and shown to the customer, so there's no question of return. So this is what we are trying to do through our omni-channel experience.
That's great. So from an omni-channel perspective, perfect. You even talked about the back end a little bit. We're trying to understand a little more if you can speak on the front end, as in, how are you saying customers are attracted to me? Where are customers looking for me? How am I attracting them? How am I curating those journeys? Can you talk like a little bit on that?
So our brand is a very strong brand. It's a legacy brand. And we are investing substantial sums of money on digital marketing. So almost 20% of our mass media spends on digital marketing.
Fantastic.
And we are trying to drive business mainly to our own website because we want ultimately to develop our own website. So that's how we are trying to get the customer. And once we get we also spend substantial sums of money on Flipkart and Amazon because that's where the customer is. We can't run away from the fact. But parallelly, we are also investing heavily on our website so that we can get the customers.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Aastha, please.
So, we are not a legacy brand. We're just a 2-year-old company called The New Shop. And the first store of ours actually came up just 1.5 years ago. And now we're at almost our 70th stores, processing more than 500,000 orders per month. What's interesting is when we were starting The New Shop, we realized what the millennials and Gen Z, which is our primary target audience, they want flexibility. So the only way to provide them this flexibility and to really listen to the customer is be available at every touch point in their lives. So our basic thinking was, how do we solve for them where they live, where they study, where they travel from, where they work. We wanted to be pretty much everywhere and solving for each and every need of theirs. So, we fundamentally believe that the offline builds the very strong foundation, which is how you can enable instant deliveries, and offline and online amplifies that offline presence. So it's a pretty good marriage, and it can't be a war between online and offline. They all have to, they're like husband, wife, they have to marry, coexist, and actually help each other grow. So omni-channel was our strategy from day one, but we didn't want to really go the e-commerce way from day one because it involves extremely high customer acquisition costs.
That's right.
So what we thought of, how about we open our stores in locations where there's already very dense network of customers present with a latent need that nobody's solving, and we'll solve it 24 hours. So we identified these very densely populated neighborhoods. We're a Delhi-based company, so we're mostly prevalent in north of India as of yet. We identified dense neighborhoods. We identified the best railway stations, airports, gas stations, highways, and we just started opening stores there on a franchise model to keep ourselves asset light. So what it did for us was, we're the only other player in the north of India which is open and delivering 24 hours. So we got organic traction and discoverability by being at the right location, which is like the first basic of retail, getting the location right. So what used to happen is that we would target your residential area with close to 10,000 families with a certain level of disposable income and a certain level of aspiration needs and a very large population of under 35 years. So we identified those colonies, and what would happen is within the first 3 months of our store opening, it's a flashy looking store, small, it's 600 square feet, but it has like the best hoarding, the 24 hours open is like a big LED that attracts the best attention. The trees around that area are well decorated. The entire street where our store is present is very, very lively. So organically, there'll be one person who will identify that store, maybe because they want tobacco or pan needs at night. Why would they go to the nearby? I mean, nobody's really open at night. The second thing that we did was we listed ourselves across all marketplaces. So it's the same customer who's also shopping from Swiggy, Zomato, Dunzo. We're not competing with everyone. We're just out there to serve our customers. So wherever the customer is shopping, we just wanted to be there. And that's how we organically developed this brand that, if I'm awake at 12 o'clock and I'm looking for something, the only place they'll find is the new shop to shop from. So that's how our discoverability happened organically. The next thing that we did was, we launched our own app, which is a 6-month-old feature, and converted our extremely loyal customer base to start ordering from the app. And what we did to get the customers on the app was a loyalty program which could only be made use of if it is used through the app, which is instant cashback. So say you shop for a certain amount of money, you get an instant cashback of that much amount in your wallet, and you can actually redeem it in the next purchase or in fact the following purchase itself. We in the pipeline of starting credit and various other facilities which could only be redeemed on the app, and the instant delivery, which was free of cost for the first few months, was actually launched only through the app. So we actually very smartly distinguished between what a customer is doing in each and every platform. The purchases at an offline store tend to be very different from the purchases that happen at a marketplace, from the purchases that happen through our app. And we had different product and services SKUs divided across all these 3 major channels where we are present and serving our customer. Likewise, even in our offline store, our merchandise at, say, a Mumbai International Airport, to a Lucknow airport, to an Ahmedabad airport, differs from our residential stores in tier 1 residential areas, tier 2 residential areas, tier 3 residential areas. And that product mix has ensured that we only keep just-in-time inventory and very fast turnaround of inventory itself, because we're able to, of course, there's another question around back-end tech integration. Serve the customer exactly what they need at any time of the day and have enough of it so the customer goes back happy and satisfied. And if not, then we're also providing home deliveries. We integrated our entire omni-channel strategy into our backend so beautifully that our customer has all options. You can come to our store and buy from our store. You can use our app to get a home delivery. You can pay through the app and opt for a store pickup if you don't want to pay delivery fee, as well as various other O2O options. So we integrated all of that, and for that we had to create our own tech stack to enable that. So that's the new show for you.
Actually, fantastic insights there. 2 quick questions just to follow up. Usually we say about 20% of your repeat customers are on your app. They are super loyal customers. That's the thumb rule. Are you on that, much above that, beyond that?
So we're much above that. About So we can't really say how many orders are coming through the app because app is enabling. A lot of customers even opt for in-store pickups.
Correct.
So what I would say is that 40% of our orders have been powered by our app.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I know your USP is 15 to 30 minutes you get it delivered. So what was your reaction to Mr. George's claim 15-30 minutes get a pressure cooker?
Pretty exciting. You know, what I believe is that all our stores are tiny micro-fulfillment centers. People like to see it as a brick and mortar store. We see it as a physical branding asset present there where we own the real estate and can literally sell anything and everything to that hyper-local radius of about 1.5 kilometers within 15 to 30 minutes. So should you guys want to use us?
Yeah, if you want some pressure cooker space, you can put it at their stores. We go faster. Great, thank you so much. Please, sir.
So Metro Brands is a traditional offline retailer. It has been for quite some time. And over the last few years, we have seen a strong pivot into the e-commerce space and the omni-channel fulfillment, right? Historically, if one looks at it, you know, even today, 90% of our sale tends to be from the offline channel. And e-commerce has really seen a rapid growth, primarily on account of the fact that all of us tend to now research online, prefer to buy items online, right? However, footwear tends to be slightly different, you know, because it's not just the external appearance, the internal fit also matters. You know, so where possible, while we encourage and we continue to encourage and sell a lot of stuff online, right? We still realize that there's a strong customer base that would like to actually visit the store, experience, try before you buy in the physical sense of the word. Now, so we operate 4 e-commerce websites today, and we see very good traffic out there. Now, what we did was that we soon realized that given that in footwear, every style and color, we have a plethora of styles, colors, etc., and sizes. So the cross product, the Cartesian product, makes it a big supply chain problem for us to try and fulfill. So one of the advantages that we realized through our omni-channel fulfillment is that one, we can get the product to you cheaply because it's already shipped half the way and it's present at a store, right? That is point number 1. Second, point number 2, in case there's any problem, you can go back to the store to return it. You know, having a customer visit our store, although they have ordered online, but when they, if they want to return it for that matter, you know, is a godsend opportunity for any retailer, because you can then actually sit, delight the customer, upsell, cross-sell, you know. You might come to return one footwear, but you'll end up, you know, buying more of the products that you so love and want to cherish about. So we see the whole technology play of omnichannel being a very strong catalyst for our growth. Yeah.
Little more about omnichannel marketing, the front end part of it, attracting customers, being where they are present.
So we do a lot of course, like any retailer, we do a decent amount of performance marketing over there. But we are also seeing a large traction from social media channels, you know, in terms of influencer marketing, in terms of interaction with our brands. And people say good products, good things about us on social media. But more importantly for us, if there is a complaint, you know, we ensure that it is also addressed. Thanks.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Mr. Jabbal, sir, your views.
Okay, so Shoppers Stop, as you know, traditionally has been known as house of brands. So about 70% or 80% of what we do would be national brands, and then we have private brands. In terms of front-end presence, we have presence on desktop website, e-commerce app. We present on Amazon.com, and of course, as a traditional brick and mortar retailer, we are present. We have retail outlets all across. And if you talk about within the outlet itself, we have a very, very exclusive personal shopper program where you are assisted by a personal shopper in the store to get you a more personalized, curated collection. Sorry. Then in terms of other touch points, yes, influencer marketing, we use it a lot, particularly in the beauty space. Then you have, of course, a lot of interactions through social media platforms. We also have a very powerful loyalty program called First Citizen, and a premium version of it called First Citizen Black card customer where you have, unique privileges. So these all touch points and the way we interact, allows us to deliver a true omni-channel experience. And we're very, very specific when you say omni-channel. We really means a true omni-channel and not use omni-channel as a replacement of e-commerce. Because we truly believe in future there will be more channels, whether it's conversational commerce or whether it's travel commerce, whether it's OTT commerce, a lot many things will come. We don't want to create a loyalty or encourage customers to move to a particular channel, because then we are creating a different class of consumers. We want consumers to experience everything, whether it's their points, whether it's their offers, coupons, their complaints, their tenders that they want to use. The information that they get on an e-commerce website, why can't I get in my store, the level of details I get, the personalized suggestions that I get, the personalization thing that we're talking about. All the channels should be able to deliver that level of omni experience. And then we are a true omni-channel retailer, and that's what we intend to do. So we very, very strongly, when we say omni-channel, we mean omni-channel, and not just having an e-commerce makes me omni-channel. Because tomorrow I'm also going to talk about using, that's a part of the backend part, but I'll just take it because it's a part of the channel story. So the fulfillment also will happen, from different channels, and the front ends also will be different. The entire ONDC thing that we're talking about, there could be suddenly so many front ends that I can't even control. But my ONDC kind of a backend channel will enable discovery of my catalog all across. So yes, we truly believe in the omni-channel journey, and we're strongly, using technology to get there.
Thank you so much. It's becoming very difficult to rip apart the front end and the back end, right? It's always going back into the back end for omni-channel because something has to power it. But yeah, thank you so much for talking about the front end touch points. I'm hoping the second question also, you'll have more light there. I'm mad over donuts, sir. Please.
Yes, so am I. Thank you. So to start with, for us, I think we are existing in both the channels, I think, whether it is offline, online. But let me go back a little bit behind. In the last 2 years, I think it was a natural pivot that offline was shut and online became a persistent thing for everybody. And it was a natural pivot for us also get into multiple channels, maybe into a cloud kitchen, maybe into our own website, delivering the product, etc. And so we realized one thing very clearly, that offline, we obviously have the stores to front end, basically to talk about it. You showcase your product, you showcase your service, you showcase what is there in the store in terms of imagery, whether it is hygiene or etc. But further ahead, we realized that it has to be seamless, online and offline, both put together. So we realized that in online, you'll have to basically what is coming through, your product and the packaging. So I think we got it right that way. I think that is how progression happened, and I think we could sustain the last 2 years in terms of pandemic, and then obviously the stores opened up, etc. For us, I think, so donut is conducive for deliveries. You can store your product at the store in your house, and then obviously it is easier for delivery also. So that also helps in the long run, I think. So today we are sitting at a 80-20 figure kind of thing. And in online, obviously, the aggregators has helped us in a big way, So we don't have to actually pile on to something specifically, but we had the aggregators to talk about us, promote us, and then sell their products also to the surface.
So 80% your own website plus aggregators?
No. So our own store does
your
80%.
own store 80%.
So we are come back
20%.
to the normalcy I'm saying.
Right.
So between a 20-25% still the aggregator does their work for us, and 80% is still the store. So I think things have come back to normalcy, so-called, and the food was the first one to, I think, to come back to normalcy.
You were first to recover also.
And we are, hopefully, we have been told that we are first to recover. And
I second that motion.
no, actually, I think people have been talking about a lot of revenge eating, etc. Obviously, I tell that it's not about revenge eating; it's about actual eating. Actually, people wanted to eat, apart from the dal chawal what they were having at home.
We are revenge-based, watching our waistline.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we were the first one to recover, I think, for sure. And I think it is here to stay. Food is here to stay, and there are a lot of companies which is coming up, there are a lot of brand which is getting evolved now. Between whatever we say in this country, I think it is here to evolve now, I think.
Fantastic. Talk a little bit about how you've made donuts a mithai in India.
Well, the customers did it, the guests did it for us. I think people were, I think, don't want to put it to shame, but I think the regular laddus and regular stuff had become a little bit common. And we realized that in Diwali, that when we launched the Diwali donuts, that people starting having our donuts instead of taking laddus and etc. to each other's homes. So we become a regular feature into the portfolio, into a Raksha Bandhan, into a Diwali, into a Christmas.
Your digital strategy on that, please, if you don't mind.
Well, there was no strategy. I thought in India we should do all the celebration put together. Tomorrow we may launch even during Ganpati something along with the
Modak
Ganpati
and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Modak Ganpati during so Modak donuts will be in. So we may cater. So every festival in this country is an occasion, and we are trying to cater to them.
Perfect, fantastic. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Kunal, your opinion, please.
Sure. So maybe I'll touch upon a little more on the discovery piece.
Perfect. Brilliant.
So, look, I think makeup. I can see a lot of men in the crowd, so maybe not everybody will relate to this.
You'll be surprised.
But,
You'll be so surprised.
Makeup consumption, right? So I think it's a multi-step process, right? So सबसे पहले आप category select करते हो क्योंकि makeup में बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं. You've got a foundation, you've got eye products, you've got lipsticks, you've got nails.
All the ladies are going, yeah.
And
so
then
difficult.
within them you've got shades, right? And then you're always wondering which shade will go right with what skin tone. So there are a lot of questions. There's a level of deep involvement that happens, right? So previously, pre-digital era, I don't know how long back that was, but most of this understanding either would happen via friends talking to each other, recommending to each other, or it would happen in these special stores where there are beauty advisors who would say, "Ma'am, aapki skin pe ye acha lagega, aap ye try karo," right? Now what's happened over the last 3-4 years or maybe more is that channels like YouTube or Instagram have sort of democratized the understanding of how to do good makeup, right? And as that happens, the understanding of the deep understanding of how to use a concealer, and a lot of new products which I had never even heard of before I joined Faces Canada, so that the entire category penetration and the understanding of the category is largely being driven by YouTube and Facebook, where there are thousands of influencers who regularly talk about how they do makeup, how do they dress up for specific occasions. So for us, I think this change is obviously a very important change for us, because thankfully when you think about digital, there are no competitive modes that legacy brands have, right? So I think it was a great opportunity for us to make sure that we are present across these channels. So as I was talking about before, on Instagram today we have more than 500,000 followers who regularly consume our content. What does that mean? The follower base that we have today is probably more than many beauty magazines in the country. So that means we are no longer just a brand, but we are also a
liberator.
Well, yeah, we're also an agency that's providing good content to the right consumers.
Absolutely.
So again, for us, the trick is to be present where the consumer is. So we have sizable presence in offline where purchase happens. We have presence in e-commerce platforms as well as all on social media handles through which a lot of consumers discover us.
Thank you so much for that perspective. I think the front end bit of it is so important. I was once at Sephora office thinking I'm extremely modern. I use a face wash, I use a sunscreen lotion. Who does anything more than me? But apparently there's so many things that you're supposed to do. So I think you're right. If you know what you're supposed to do, or somebody comes and says, I want this, but maybe it's not what you need. You need something else. You're trying to do something else. You've just caught on to one product. So educate, and then customers evangelized, empowered to make better decisions, and then you guide them there. Fantastic. So that was our front-end discovery, experiencing kind of round. And just the second question, we've already delved into the back-end a little bit, so we'll just touch upon what we've not. The question for the audience also, so you can know what's going to get answered here, is does your brand have differentiated merchandise for various channels? This is back-end. How has or how will the supply chain adapt to service omni-channel orders? How does your brand intend to use local inventory to cut logistics costs, reduce cancellations, and more importantly to say, look, I know you want this product and it's very near you and I can get it to you now, right? Faster. In a marketplace, research has shown that customers are willing to pay more for a faster delivery instead of just taking a discount but waiting for 3 days. How true is that for you, and what kind of senses are we seeing there? I could start with Mr. George again.
We don't believe in having separate inventory for separate channels, separate merchandise. we want to give the customer a unified shopping experience across all the touch points. So our inventory largely, our merchandise is common across channels. It doesn't differentiate from one channel to the other. Having said that, with some of the e-com channels, we do some exclusives, but we have similar products with similar specs, albeit with a different sub-brand in offline. So we don't differentiate between merchandise in different channels. We want to give a unified experience of the brand to all the customers.
Great. I just have a quick question for you there. You have been 60 years of Prestige. You've been there for 30 years, right? You've got a WordPress and Vinculum, WordPress site with Column backend, about 30, 40 stores. So how are you going to get the franchisee stores onto the omni-channel model?
So what we are working on is now our point of sale software is integrated with our website backend. So
for franchisee stores also?
For franchise. So the inventory which is considered is the summation of all inventories, including our e-com warehouse and our stores.
Perfect.
And if the store is within 5 km radius of the customer, the order gets allocated to the store.
Thank you so much, sir. We have 5 minutes, I've been informed, so I'll keep this fast. Please, your views. Aastha.
What do you want me to answer?
On the back end, how's the supply chain geared up?
Okay, so I think I already
Yes, you did.
addressed that.
Yeah, you did. So I just have then in that case a couple of questions for you. Everybody else is doing marketing during the day, spending money during the day, or when the customer is browsing. Aastha is doing marketing even during the night. 60% of our business is coming, during the night as such, if I'm not wrong, right? So
between
how is
8
that
p.m. to
different?
8 a.m. 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
8 p.m. to 8 a.m. 60% of revenue. Where have we heard that before? So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes,
And-
so like I mentioned, the new shop is not meant for everyone. Our target audience is pretty clear in our mind. We're targeting the millennials and Gen Z, people who are up at night, they're traveling at ad hoc hours, work from home and OTT culture has spurred even worse ad hoc working hours with people, and that's the need we are fundamentally solving for. So we're open and operating 24 hours, and this is the exact reason why we had to create our own technology stack. So, we used to work with third-party softwares, but what would happen is, I can't take names, but, a software would accept our order. To a customer, they see that the new shop is fulfilling their order. The delivery rider would even pick up this order from us, but it would never get delivered to the end customer. And who would get all the flack and the rubbish? It's us.
Yeah.
So that was a very unique problem that we had, and that's why we had to build the entire tech stack ourselves. The other problem that we have, because we are seamlessly omni-channel, a customer could be at a store asking for a burger as well as a shampoo at that moment. The same time, an app order could come at that moment. Same time, an order through Dunzo, Swiggy or Zomato could also come at that moment. So those were some unique challenges for us, and that's why we've actually created a cloud-based inventory management system in-house, a POS in-house. Customers don't wait at our store. They want everything and they want it quick. So either it is quick deliveries or it's standing in a queue at a railway station or airport or a residential area. Everybody wants the quickest checkout at a convenience store. So the POS again had to be made in-house to enable the quickest checkout at the cheapest cost, because we're looking at scale. Along with that, the other challenges were...
Aastha, we are short on time, so just quick.
Sure. So basically, our entire tech stack had to be built in-house, from the entire back-end inventory management, automated POs, all the way to our delivery app, and it had to be done because we're on a franchise model, and franchisees believe in data transparency, so everybody can track anywhere, sitting in any part of the world, real time, on our cloud-based system and dashboard on what is really happening, sale of stores, products, customers, data, everything.
Thank you so much, Aastha. You just pass that on, please. Just
so
quickly.
You want me to answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
So you'd asked a plethora of questions. I remember a couple. I'll answer those.
Right.
Yeah, so firstly, we do have e-com exclusives, but primarily majority of our SKUs tend to be common across all channels. We do omni-channel fulfillment, and hence localized merchandise gets pushed. And so we also have the same problem as Aastha, right? At all our 650 plus stores, you have e-commerce, omni-channel orders coming in, and also the local in-store experience that gets handled at the same point of time. So we have ensured that both our POS system and our e-commerce websites, including our third-party marketplaces on which we sell, are all synchronized within 15 to 20 minutes of any sale. Thanks.
That's great. I have a quick follow-up to that. 600 stores, hundreds of crores of profits in Q1s in every quarter. You're former Marico yourself. What is the ideal tech stack for omnichannel, and what does it take to work with brands who are at your scale? If a partner wants to work with you, what do you look for in such partners?
So I think one of the most important pieces in omnichannel is to ensure that the integration between your various silos, if I may say so, right, and all of us do have legacy, tend to work smoothly. So while each of the individual components might always and typically always will work, right, having the right technology for integration and having the right partner to work with. You know, a partner, when I look at any partner, I look at two things. One is the capability of the delivery, and more importantly, the intent of the partner, right? Do you and the partner see eye to eye in terms of both have the same objective, you know, and that is most important. And, you know, touch wood for us, at least for our e-commerce journey, we have selected the right partner.
That's us. So, Mr. Jabbal, with the answer also, you're also from Simli, Bits Pilani, NIT, you can be National Chief Minister of IT if required, if that's a position. But how do you sell brand store inventory on Shopper Stop? And will you allow a brand to say, you have my inventory anyway, so can I list my inventory, can I list your inventory on my website, though it's my inventory? You get the question.
Okay, so first of all, whatever is available in the store is available across the channels where we're working. On e-commerce channels, of course, we can have a larger set of SKUs because we have access to the inventories of certain partners, so we don't need to physically have that. So that helps us to create a long tail of SKUs on our e-commerce platform. The one way you said we are doing, so we have access to our partners' inventory, so we take the orders and we do the fulfillment through cross-dock.
You do that?
Yeah, but our inventory being fulfilled through their e-commerce platforms, that's something we are not doing at the moment. And
everyone wants to crack that, so what will it take? Will it happen?
No, we are already on a platform called Unicommerce. So what it takes is that you have a business arrangement and you expose the inventory. So technically,
it's just a business arrangement.
It's a business arrangement, and if
Not
it makes sense, to technically we're enabled by a platform called Unicommerce.
Perfect, perfect. Sir, with your answer quickly, unlike most of retail brands, you have negative inventory to start with, which means you have zero inventory to start with. When something is punched, you say now there is inventory. As against, I know I have so much inventory and I'm trying to sell it. How is that? How is that, and how? Give us some insights about Swiggy also and how it's working with them. Because sometimes you're in malls, so you're also paying the mall, you're also paying Swiggy, and you also have to make profits. How is that working?
So the digital landlords, as you put it right, the aggregators takes a lot of money off us.
Yes, yes.
So to start with, I think, although it pinches us big time, but I think they help us also in a big way.
Sure.
Catering to a larger audience, I think catering to an audience which doesn't come to the store or they don't want to come to the store. So basically, again, to talking about, we want to put it seamless for both the channels. And the whole idea is that whether it is from meal to cart to actually to ordering, we say that we are much above the business standard rate, any other industry standard. So we are more than 26-27%, which is much above the industry rate of 20%. So in food specifically, you monitor that the food is prepared at the right time, product is ready by the time the Swiggy or a Zomato person comes to pick it up. So it is monitored very closely.
So you did math, computer science, hotel management, and raised barista in this country. Do you think that helped you somewhat?
Well, one of my bosses are sitting here and looking at me, I know. And trying to understand.
How much more can you make one person learn to get this job? Nothing, absolutely.
I don't know. I think I didn't want to do anything in life. That was the only way that I could have stayed back home.
Sure, sure. Your answer, please, Kunal.
Sure. So maybe I'll.
And also, if you can just talk about buy online, try in store, buy online, pick up in store, and also how do you miss TikTok?
Yeah. So Yeah, so maybe let me start by talking about the portfolio piece, right? So I think obviously we'd love to have the entire portfolio everywhere, which kind of we do as well, but there's always the profitability angle, especially when you think about offline channels. Again, I mean, we are present in a lot of aggregators or house of brand platforms, so you have to figure out a structure which is economically feasible, right? So therefore, you tend to prioritize certain portfolio by channel, right? So how you classify your portfolio, which are your focus products, that varies by channel, and that is how I think we think about it. And yes, occasionally we think about some exclusive portfolio for special occasions or special platforms, limited time offers, etc. So that's how we think about portfolio. Buy online,
try and store or
try and store. So it does happen. A lot of our offline beauty advisors tell us that madam ne hamare yahan dekha, product select kiya, but or online kharid liya. So there's a constant battle that happens. My offline team complains ki sir aaj online mein itna discount hai, aap hamare yahan nahi chala rahe ho. So that tussle always happens, but we've not seen significant business being lost to one channel over the other. That may be because there is a lot of room for growth in both the places, but per se we've not really seen that struggle. And yes, it does happen that there are some consumers who still want to try offline and buy online, but I think from a business impact standpoint.
One word answer, do you miss TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, well.
Okay, no more said. So guys, that's it. That's time for us. Thank you so much, gentlemen and ladies, really, ladies and gentlemen, for sharing your valuable views. And thank you, you guys have been a great audience. I wish we had time for questions, but you can bug them offline. We don't have time for questions. That's our time. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you.
Thank you.